Ryerson has lost confidence in student union, drops RSU as official student government. Hello, it's Blue Orange 22. So I'm doing my series on male privilege and the young male crisis, and I said that the next video is going to be the education video. This is actually not that full video. That's going to come tonight or tomorrow morning. But I saw the story and it's kind of related, so I just thought I'd quickly upload it. So, Ryerson University in Toronto, Canada has just dropped the student union, the Ryerson Student Union from the student government. They're no longer an official board, and this happens after allegations of improper spending of up to $270,000. Now, I put a few links to this in the description below, and you can kind of read what was going on. The student union is being accused of inappropriate spending, mismanagement of student funds, infighting, and just general incompetence. Now, what I think is interesting and telling is how this was the same student union that blocked a men's rights group from forming a few years ago. As you can see here, the Ryerson Men's Issues Awareness Society is suing the student union on grounds of violating the group's right to free speech. Now, what happened was at Ryerson University, this men's group tried to form. They tried to start. And the student union came down and blocked them and said, no, you're not allowed to form a group. Now, the student union was and is, I suppose was now, very much linked to university feminist groups. And in fact, a lot of the members of feminist societies on campus were also involved in the student union. Let's take a look here. The RSU, which is the Ryerson Student Union, has argued that the issues addressed by the Male Issue Society, particularly male homelessness, suicide, incarceration, are already being tackled by groups such as the Women's and Trans Collective, and critics have argued that the group would open the door for anti-feminist dialogue on campus. Now, right there is something I have a problem with. And they say these issues are already being tackled by the Women's Collective, by the feminist group. It's not for feminists to decide that they have the final authority and they have the final say on men's issues and what men's issues are. Because if you watch my videos in the past, you'll see examples of feminist groups not doing enough for men's issues and not helping men's issues. Because the bottom line is it's not about them. And how to address and identify male issues and men's issues really should be up to men, to the people who are actually being affected by them. It goes on to say, these groups have actively promoted, and this is them talking about MRAs. These groups have actively promoted aggression towards marginalized communities such as, but not limited to, women-identified people, trans people, and racialized communities on campus. So, and you can see it's signed by a December petition from the Ryerson Feminist Collective. So, again, feminist groups coming out and saying men's rights groups shouldn't even exist because they attack women, because they have aggression towards women. But how? What is the aggression towards women just by saying we want to talk about men's issues, we want to talk about men's education or homelessness or incarceration? How is that attacking women? And what right does a feminist group have to tell men you can't even organize your own group on campus? This is feminism directly getting in the way of MRAs. And one of the things feminists will say is, oh, how come MRAs are just anti-feminist? You guys are just reactionaries. You just exist to fight against feminism. But they fight against us. If we even just try and form a group on a college campus to talk about these things, we get attacked for it, just for trying to start a group. And this is something that happens actually quite frequently, as you'll see in this article below. You can read it. This happens in several countries multiple times where male students have tried starting their own MRA group and feminists have come out to block them. So when feminists say, oh, how come men don't just start their own group? Stop asking feminists to fix them. Because when we do that, you attack us and say, well, you don't need to have a group because feminism is helping you. But then when we say, well, how come feminists aren't helping with this issue? They say, well, feminism is a women's movement and this should be up to men. It's completely hypocritical. And when you look at what some feminists and student unions do, you get a very different story than, oh, we're helping men too. This was the case of Bahar Mustafa, who was the diversity and welfare officer at Goldsmiths University in London, and she tweeted, "Kill white men." The diversity and welfare officer. And this started a whole controversy. This link is also in the description below. A whole controversy, and feminist groups came out to defend her. So anyway, I just thought this was kind of interesting. The main video on boys' education is going to be out tonight or tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to be continuing my series on male privilege and the young male crisis. But I did think this story was interesting, and I do think it kind of points out some hypocrisies and some of the problems, some of the issues that MRAs have been talking about with certain feminist groups over the years.